Listen closely. What you're about to hear matters, not because it's revenge, not because it's a game, but because it's truth. And truth changes men. If this resonates with you, subscribe now. You won't regret it. Let's talk about something most men never understand until it's too late. Female regret, not the kind that comes immediately, not the kind that shows up in tears or apologies the next day, but the kind that arrives months later, sometimes years later, when she realizes what she lost, when she finally sees the man you became without her. Here's what most men get wrong. They think regret is about love. They think she'll miss the relationship, the dates, the memories, the comfort. But that's not how it works. Regret isn't about what she had. It's about what she can't replace. And there's a difference, a massive difference. She can replace companionship. She can replace affection. She can replace someone who's simply there, but she can't replace value. She can't replace a man who knew himself, a man who had standards, a man who chose himself when she didn't choose him. That's the man she regrets losing, not the one who begged, not the one who chased, not the one who lowered himself hoping she'd stay, the one who walked away, the one who meant it. Let's go deeper. When a woman leaves or pulls away, she's operating on a specific psychology. She believes she has options. She believes she can do better. She believes the relationship was the problem, not her perception of you. And in that moment, she might be right. Not because you weren't enough, but because you weren't yourself. You were negotiating. You were trying to keep her. You were managing her emotions instead of leading your own life. And she felt it. Women don't respect negotiation. They respect decision. They don't respect men who ask for permission to be valued. They respect men who know their worth without needing confirmation. So when she leaves, she's not leaving the best version of you. She's leaving the version that needed her too much, the version that made her the center, the version that sacrificed mission for comfort. And here's the part that stings. She won't regret that version. She'll forget that version. But months later, when you've rebuilt, when you've refocused, when you've become the man you were supposed to be all along, she'll notice. And that's when regret begins. Not because you changed for her, but because you changed without her. That shift is everything. It tells her she wasn't necessary. It tells her you didn't fall apart. It tells her you were never as dependent as she thought. And that realization is crushing because it means she misread you. She underestimated you. She thought you'd stay broken. She thought you'd stay stuck, but you didn't. And now she sees what she walked away from. Not the man she left, but the man you became after. Let's talk about attraction, real attraction. Not the surface kind, not the butterflies, not the chemistry, the deep kind, the kind that's built on respect. Women are attracted to men they respect, not men they pity, not men they control, not men they have to manage emotionally, men they respect. And respect doesn't come from being nice. It doesn't come from being available. It doesn't come from putting her first every single time. It comes from seeing a man handle himself, a man who has boundaries, a man who walks away when something doesn't serve him, a man who doesn't fall apart when she pulls back. That's the man she respects, and that's the man she regrets losing. But here's the catch. She won't regret losing him while he's chasing. She'll only regret it when he stops. When he goes silent, when he refocuses on himself, when his life starts moving forward without her in it. That's when the psychology shifts, because now she's not in control. Now she's not the one being chosen. Now she's watching from a distance, and that distance creates something powerful. Curiosity, doubt, second guessing. She starts wondering if she made a mistake. Not because you're doing anything to her, but because you're doing everything for yourself. Let's address the uncomfortable truth. Most men never get here. They stay in the same place. They keep hoping she'll come back. They keep the door open. They keep checking her social media. They keep replaying the past. And because of that, she never regrets anything because she sees a man stuck, a man waiting, a man who hasn't moved on. And there's no attraction in that. There's no respect in that. There's nothing to regret. She made the right choice, leaving someone who can't let go. But the man who lets go completely, the man who closes the door and builds a new life, that's the one she regrets. Because that's the one she can't get back. And women hate losing access. Even when they don't want you, they want the option. Even when they've moved on, they want to know you haven't. It's not malicious. It's psychology, it's validation, it's comfort. But when you remove that comfort, when you remove that option, everything changes. Now she's the one feeling lost. Now she's the one wondering what you're doing. Now she's the one checking if you've moved on. And if you have, truly have, that's when regret becomes real. Let's talk about self-respect, because this whole process starts there. You can't trigger regret by trying to trigger regret. You can't make her miss you by posting things for her to see. You can't create attraction by performing growth. It has to be real. It has to come from self-respect. Self-respect means you don't accept breadcrumbs. You don't accept mixed signals. You don't accept being someone's backup plan. You don't accept being chosen only when it's convenient. Self-respect means you walk away from anything that doesn't honor you, even if it hurts, even if you still care, even if part of you wants to stay. You walk away because you respect yourself more than you need her validation. And that's what she feels. That's what creates the shift. She realizes you're not like the others. You didn't beg. You didn't fall apart. You didn't lose yourself trying to keep her. You just left calmly, quietly, with dignity. And that dignity is what haunts her, because most men don't have it. Most men break down. Most men make her feel powerful by showing how hurt they are. But you didn't. You walked away whole, and she knows she'll never find that again. Let's go into purpose. This is the core. A man without purpose is a man she can control. A man without direction is a man she can shape. A man without mission is a man she'll eventually lose respect for. Even if she loves him, even if she wants it to work, she'll lose respect, because women don't want to lead. They want to be led by someone who knows where he's going, not someone who's following her, not someone who's waiting for her approval, someone who has his own path. And when you refocus on that path after she leaves, when you pour everything into your purpose, your work, your growth, your mission, she sees a man she didn't recognize before, a man she underestimated, a man she thought she could leave and come back to whenever she wanted. But now he's unreachable, not because he's ignoring her, but because he's genuinely focused elsewhere. And that focus is magnetic. It creates a gravitational pull she can't explain. She starts seeing your wins. She starts hearing about your progress. She starts realizing you're not the same. And that realization breaks something in her. Because she wanted you to wait. She wanted you to stay the same. She wanted the option to return. But you didn't give her that. You chose yourself. And now she has to live with that choice. Let's talk about what regret actually looks like. It's not always dramatic. It's not always an apology. Sometimes it's just a message, a like on an old photo, a comment that seems casual but isn't, a question about how you've been, an attempt to reconnect that feels friendly but has weight behind it. She's testing. She's seeing if the door is still open. She's checking if you still care. And here's where most men fail. They take the bait. They respond eagerly. They think this is the moment she realizes she was wrong. But it's not. It's just her managing her own regret. She doesn't want you back. She just wants to know she could have you back. And if you respond like you've been waiting, she gets her answer. She feels better and she moves on again. But if you don't respond, or if you respond with indifference, with clarity, with boundaries, she realizes the door is actually closed. And that's when regret turns into something deeper. Grief, not for the relationship, but for the man she lost. Let's address something important. This isn't about revenge. This isn't about making her suffer. This isn't about playing games or manipulating emotions. This is about you becoming the man you were always supposed to be, with or without her. If regret happens, it's a byproduct. It's a natural consequence of your growth, but it's not the goal. The goal is your own peace, your own strength, your own clarity. The goal is building a life so solid that her absence doesn't shake it. A life where you're not waiting for her to see your worth. A life where you already know it. And when you live from that place, everything changes. You stop checking if she's watching. You stop hoping she'll regret it. You stop needing her to validate the growth, because the growth is for you. And that's the most powerful position you can be in, not needing her regret, but knowing you're worth regretting. There's a masculinity in that, a quiet, grounded, unshakable masculinity. It's not loud. It's not aggressive. It's not trying to prove anything. It just is. And women feel that. They feel when a man is no longer affected, when he's no longer reactive, when he's no longer available emotionally. And it creates a void, a space where she used to have influence, a space where she used to matter. But now that space is filled with your mission, your purpose, your peace, and she can't compete with that. Let's be honest about timing. Regret doesn't happen on your schedule. It happens on hers. And sometimes it never happens at all. Sometimes she moves on completely. Sometimes she finds someone else. Sometimes she convinces herself she made the right choice, and that's fine. Because this was never about her. It was about you. It was about you reclaiming yourself. It was about you stepping into the man you're capable of being. If she regrets it, okay. If she doesn't, okay. Your life moves forward either way. That's freedom. That's power. That's manhood. Not dependent on her response, not waiting for her validation, just moving, just building, just becoming. And if months or years down the line she reaches out and you're in a completely different place and she realizes what she lost, that's on her. You don't owe her access. You don't owe her a second chance. You don't owe her anything. You've already given yourself everything by choosing you. Here's the final truth. Female regret after losing a man isn't about what happened in the relationship. It's about what happened after. It's about the man he became when she wasn't there, the man who didn't need her to be whole, the man who rebuilt without her validation, the man who walked away and never looked back with bitterness, only clarity. That's the man she regrets losing, not because he was perfect, but because he was real, and real men are rare. So if you're watching this after a breakup, after rejection, after being left, hear this. Don't chase her. Don't beg. Don't try to prove your worth. Just rebuild, refocus, recommit to your mission. Become the man you know you're capable of being, and let her regret be her own burden to carry. You've got a life to build, and it starts now. If this hit you, subscribe. You'll need the reminders ahead.